Hello and welcome to another adventure here on my channel. I know it's been a minute since I've done any beauty content on this channel. I haven't done any since my rebrand where I rebranded away from being a makeup channel, but even though I am not a purely beauty channel anymore, I still enjoy talking about makeup and do want to make some beauty content now and then when I have a particularly fun idea. And honestly, I had so much fun filming this video last year that I wanted to do it again this year for this Halloween season. So today I am going to be ranking all of the Halloween releases that I have seen. I am sorry if I've missed some, but I'm actually pretty psyched that so many brands seem to be hopping on the Halloween releases train. So I'm sorry if I missed something. I tried to gather all the ones that I have personally seen and I'm going to be ranking them today. A couple little disclaimers before I hop in. First, this is not going to be a review video in that I have not purchased all of these items and am giving you reviews. This is more of a thoughts on new releases style video where I show you the picture and give you my thoughts, why I'm interested in buying it, why I'm not gonna buy it. I have bought one item on this list, so I will be giving you a review of that, but mostly this is just my opinions on how the collection looks. Also, it is totally okay if we disagree, if we have different opinions. It's just makeup, it's not that deep. Please, if you do disagree, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you agree, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And with that, let me scoot over and let's start with last place. So last place, 11th place of the Halloween collections this year, in my opinion, is the ColourPop and Hocus Pocus collaboration round 2, which may be surprising because last year I am almost positive, I'm pretty sure I ranked the first ColourPop Hocus Pocus collection as the #1 Halloween collection of 2020. In fact, that palette ended up being, I think, my second favorite palette in my collection overall last year and definitely my favorite release of 2020 because I thought it did such a good job of capturing the movie. It was a beautiful color story. I have it right here. This Gather Round Sisters palette, like, this is a Hocus Pocus color story to me, and it's a beautiful take on one. It is very to my taste. It has some pops of color, which do correlate with the three witches. It has some grungy neutrals, some cool tone, some warm tone. This is Hocus Pocus to me. This captures the aesthetic of the movie because that movie is kind of more grungy, spooky, Halloween leaning, and I love that movie. I adore Hocus Pocus. It has been one of my favorite movies since I was a very small child, and is probably the root of a good portion of my personality. Like, I love Hocus Pocus. I loved this collection, and that is why this collection is last place. Because I am personally offended by this collection. I think this is so terrible because this is not Hocus Pocus. Sure, the packaging is, the cardboard outside is, but what is this color story? This is the same boring color story as so many of their other palettes recently. They just slapped the name Hocus Pocus on it and were like, yeah, this'll sell because last year sold so well. But the problem is, this sold so well because it actually captured the spirit of the movie. This doesn't. And I'm personally offended because I love Hocus Pocus so much that when they take this very beloved property to me and just clearly don't care to even try when I know they can do it fantastic. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. 0 out of 10. This is last place because it personally attacked me. I came out to have a good time and I'm feeling so attacked right now by this collection. I'm glad they brought the first collection back with this collection, but that is the only good thing I can say about this. And I already own what I wanted of the first collection, so I'm set. In 10th place is the Makeup Revolution X Corpse Bride collection. Now, I think they genuinely did this collection well. This is a collection where I feel like they captured the vibe of the movie. If you are a big Corpse Bride fan, I can see why you would really want some of this makeup, and I'm glad they did Your Thing justice. I just personally am so over all the Tim Burton movies. Like, all of them. Corpse Bride is okay. I think of Tim Burton movies, this one may be my favorite, but I am just, no, Dark Shadows. I like Dark Shadows. Dark Shadows, my favorite Tim Burton movie. Did he even do that, or do I just think he did because it has Helena Bonham Carter and Johnny Depp in it? No, he did that. Dark Shadows is the exception, but especially these cartoony stop motion Tim Burton movies, I just never really loved them, and they're just so oversaturated. Mostly, I dislike Nightmare Before Christmas because it was an okay movie, but I didn't love it. But because I'm a Halloween person around a lot of other Halloween people, they assume I love it, and it just gets shoved down my throat all the time, and I'm so sick of it. And that annoyance has spread to the rest of these kind of Tim Burton movies that seeing this collection, I just went like, no. I don't want to think of any of those movies because I am forced to think of those movies too frequently. So if you love those movies, like, I am happy for you. I am happy there seems to be a good collection for your intellectual property of choice, but it is just not for me, and I don't like the reminder that Tim Burton movies are a thing, besides Dark Shadows. I'm also still pissed off that Alan Rickman's last role was in the second live-action Alice in Wonderland, and that movie was dog poop. That was a terrible movie. I hated it, and Alan Rickman deserved better for his last role. I'm still personally offended. I walked out of the theater for that movie, and I have never forgiven Tim Burton for that. The next item on the list, the 9th place, I think we're in 9th place, is the Game Beauty Harbinger palette. This isn't specifically Halloween themed, but they're saying it's their Halloween themed launch, so it's their Halloween collection, so I'm going to count it here. I want to try Game Beauty. I like gaming. Well, I like League of Legends. I don't really play many other video games. I do have a Nintendo Switch, and I have been playing Animal Crossing like every other basic-ass white girl, but besides that, basically the only game I play is League of Legends, but I do love League of Legends, so gaming is cool. I like gaming. I like the thought of a gaming-themed makeup brand. And they have done their color stories really well so far. Their packaging's really pretty. Like, I like everything about this brand, except nothing has quite been the one for me. They haven't come out with anything where I've gone, that's where I try this brand, and I want them to. Every time they're like, we have a new launch, I'm like, ooh, I am paying attention. And then every time so far, I've been just disappointed that it is not the one for me. I do like their Victory palette. I think if you were like, you can have a Game Beauty palette right now for free, what would you want? I would go with their Victory palette because I think that one's pretty. But when I saw them start sneak peeking this Harbinger palette, I was like, is this the one for me? And it wasn't. It's a fine color story. I don't have anything against this color story. It's just not what I typically would really go for. So this is fine. I'm not against this. It doesn't give me a visceral reaction like the previous two collections, but I just don't have any strong emotions besides minor disappointment that this was not the palette where I finally tried Game Beauty, which is fine. So I'm glad this exists. This is for someone. It's just not for me. And then number, I think we were on 8, is the Hip Dot X Addams Family collection. Now, I like the Addams Family. I haven't seen the cartoon movies yet. I wouldn't be against seeing them, but it's not something I'm going to go out of my way to see. But I do like the Addams Family. I like the movies from like the 2000s, and I do like the original show as well. So I'm down with an Addams Family makeup collection, and I think they did it decently. Like, this isn't bad, but overall, I just think this collection is pretty forgettable. Like, a year from now, if I decide to watch this video, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I forgot that existed. And I am usually pretty dang good at remembering collections and what has existed and what hasn't. I don't know why my brain has become a makeup launches encyclopedia, but it has. It's my hobby, what can I say? But this is something that I'm going like, I'm going to forget you. I am sure I'm going to forget you. So that's why it is so low on the list. I don't think it's bad, it's just forgettable. Next is another Makeup Revolution collection. It is the Makeup Revolution The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror collection. I really like this collection. I think this was done really, really well. It's a big collection, but Makeup Revolution is one of my favorite brands. I do tend to like their quality. They can be a little hit and miss, but usually with collabs and intellectual property stuff, they do pretty well. So I would bet that this is all probably good quality makeup. I like that little highlighter duo a lot. My only thing with this, and the reason it's so low, is because I am just not a Simpsons person. I don't have anything against The Simpsons, it's just not really for me. I watched The Simpsons movie once and I enjoyed it, but it's not a show I really think I'll ever get into. So even though I like the collection and I like the makeup, since I don't like or really have an attachment to the intellectual property, it's just not offering me a experience with makeup that I would really get excited to use. So I wouldn't end up using it because I don't care for the intellectual property. But if you're into The Simpsons, I think they did a good job. Or if you're not like me and very much weirdly about the experience of the makeup, more than just like, I like these colors, I'm gonna use it, then hey, maybe this could be for you. I think they did a good job. I think it's really cute. It's a fun idea and I like it. I like this. And then number 6, I cannot believe this made it up so high on this list because I genuinely thought this was going to be last place. When I first saw this collection, I was like, that's so lazy. That's so bad. Why would you come out with it? And it is almost top 5. And that's not to say that everything below this has been bad. It's just this has kind of grown on me. And it is the Profusion X Mean Girls Halloween collection. So they have one bundle that's Dramatic Bunny, that's Regina George, one bundle that's I'm a Mouse, duh, which is Karen Smith, and one bundle that is Fetch Feline, which is Gretchen Wieners. And each of these comes with a headband with animal ears, a little eyeshadow quad, a glitter gel, and a lip gloss. And at first I was like, this is so lazy, this is so bad. But the more I've thought about it, the more I'm like, I get it. I do think the headbands, if you want this as like, this is my Halloween costume, I'm going as Regina George in bunny ears, then the headbands are bad. But if you're just like, hey, I'm using the headband to pull my hair back while I do my makeup, the headbands are fine. But the reason this has grown on me is kind of because I saw the Angelica Nyquist Christmas sets that make sense to her. I'll link the video down below. It's Christmas sets she thinks are worth it. And she really said, you know, if you want to try a brand, then these Christmas sets may be a smart way to do that. And I was thinking, Halloween sets, I have been wanting to try Profusion. This could be a decent way to dip my toes into this brand. I don't know if I'll buy one. If I did, it would be the Gretchen Wieners one, just because A, she's my favorite character in Mean Girls, and B, because the quad is very neutral, and if I would use a quad, it would be a very neutral, just throw it on and go type of look. I don't know if this will be when I finally try Profusion. They have been on my list for a while, but I kind of like that idea of just a little set of a few different products, not expensive. And I think the idea of doing like a Mean Girls Halloween is pretty good. Like, it's a good idea. And I like the way they did it based on the different costumes of the different girls. I'm a little sad there's not a Katie Heron set, though I get why, because like, how would you do a little headband for her? And hers was really like gory and theirs is more cute makeup. So I kind of get it, but I think that would have been cool. But overall, this collection really did grow on me. And next, we are getting into top 5. And again, I can't believe that this collection landed so high up. It is the Lunar Beauty Moonspell collection. When I first saw this eyeshadow palette, I thought it was very ugly. I thought it was terrible. I was like, who would want that? Why would anyone want that? Why would any brand come out with it? That is an ugly eyeshadow palette. But every single time I've looked at it, it's grown on me just a little bit to where even though now I'm not like, oh my gosh, I want it, like it's not for me, I'm like, it's nice. It's nice. It's not bad. It's not a bad collection. But the reason this is so high and not below the Profusion collection is because I like the lipsticks. I like the lip glosses. The names are super cute. There's the Coven lip gloss, the Bitchcraft lip gloss, and the Hallows Eve liquid lipstick. I actually used up my orangey fall, kind of burnt orange, spicy liquid lipstick. That was my favorite fall lipstick, and I'm kind of in the market for another one. And this Hallows Eve liquid lipstick looks to be about the color that I'd be looking for. I may just go ahead and buy the same one I had because I know I like it, but I'm kind of in the market for a shade like this, and I'm looking around. So I was interested in that lipstick. Lunar Beauty is one of those brands that's like, it's not that I wouldn't buy from them, but if I could get a product somewhere else, I would prefer that because like Manny MUA has never done anything that I've been like, oh, I don't like you because of X, Y, and Z. There's just something that the vibe check is off. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I just kind of feel like there's something here that my stomach just kind of says, I don't like you, and I don't know why. So I'm not gonna like boycott Manny MUA. I don't have a problem with him. It's just if I can get a product somewhere else, then I'm gonna do that instead. So that's why I won't be buying this liquid lipstick, but I like it, and I have heard great things about his brand. So I don't blame anyone for purchasing from him. Like I said, I would purchase from him in the future if there was something like really good and really special that I really just couldn't get anywhere else. But if I can't avoid it, I'm going to. And then in fourth place is the BH Cosmetics Poison Shock Collection. The theming of this is perfect. I love it. I think it's so cute. It's a really interesting Halloween theme. I haven't seen like poisons as a makeup theme, which you would think like why would any brand do that? But it makes sense for a Halloween collection, kind of spooky, fun, all these different eyeshadow palettes. And I do absolutely love the BH eyeshadow formula. It is one of my top 3 formulas. My top 3 are Alien Cosmetics, Kaleidos, and BH. My only problem with this, the reason I didn't buy any and the reason this is 4th place and not higher on the list is because they're just monochromatic palettes, which have been done over and over and over and over again. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Monochromatic palettes are nice. I'm just kind of bored with them right now because it feels like for the past 3 years, so many brands have been doing monochromatic palettes, which makes sense. Again, if you just love green eyeshadow, great, you can buy an all green palette. But at this point, if you love all green eyeshadow, all orange eyeshadow, if you want a monochromatic palette, by now I feel like you have one. And I definitely have monochromatic palettes in the colors of these that I would want, which would be green, orange, and like the gray. And I have monochromatic palettes of those colors. So I don't need these. I think it's nice. I think if you don't have any monochromatic palettes, these would probably be a good option. But I just don't know who in the makeup community doesn't at this point. And I don't even think this collection necessarily was made for makeup community, beauty makeup consumers. I feel like this may have been made for the people who just want some makeup for Halloween, like for a Halloween costume. If you're going as like, say, a glam Frankenstein type of thing, and you're not someone who already owns green eyeshadow, then sure, a little monochromatic, 9-pan, not too expensive green eyeshadow palette may be perfect for your Halloween costume, so you can dip your toes into color but not have to really commit to like a huge colorful rainbow palette or anything. So I think that might be who they're targeting with this collection, or at least who it may be for, but that's just not me. So I like it, it's just, I already have it, pretty much. And then in third place is the Nomad Cosmetics Haunted Europe palette, which this was gonna be first place instead of third, because this is actually the one I bought. I have it right here. It is really beautiful. I absolutely adore this color story as a fall color story. It's kind of like fun orange and green pops and then more spooky over here. Like it really captures the duality of fall Halloween colors. And packaging is gorgeous with this holographic thing. It's a beautiful eyeshadow palette and it would have been first place. But the more I play with it, the more I'm just not a fan, because I really, really loved it the first couple times I played with it. But the more I'm playing with this palette, the more those little things that make an eyeshadow formula not great keep adding up, because the mattes in this palette are not very consistent. Some of them I wish were more pigmented. Some of them I think are overly pigmented, and I don't know what I'm gonna get until I try that specific shade. The shimmers are really nice and pretty, and they're sparkly without being like over the top intense metallic, which I really like. but they have another problem that the mattes share in that they crease on me. And I've had eyeshadows crease in the past, not so much anymore now that I've gotten my skincare better, so my skin isn't as oily. But I mean, it has happened to me and it still does happen once in a while, but usually that's when I've been wearing an eyeshadow look for 9, 10, 11 hours, I'll start to get some minor creasing, but this starts to crease 4, 5, 6 hours in, and it's more dramatic than a lot of other eyeshadow formulas I have that do crease slightly. This is more visible creasing. And that's why I guess I just don't get along with the Nomad formula, which is really a shame because I really love their highlighter. Their Stockholm highlighter, Midnight Sun, gorgeous. That is the highlighter that got me into highlighters. I still have it. It's beautiful. It survived several declutters of my collection. So I like the brand. I like what they're doing. And I know other people really like their eyeshadow formula and get along with it really well. It's just, I guess this formula is not for me. And that makes me sad because I'm just not excited to reach for this palette anymore. And I was very excited for the first few times I did reach for it. So that is why it got knocked down to third place. I think the theming is A+, the color story is A+, and if you are someone who knows you get along with Nomad's formula, great palette. I just think the formula and me don't get along. And then second place, another indie brand, the Alien Cosmetics Witching Hour palette. When I first saw this color story, I thought it was kind of meh, but then I saw swatches and I saw it like actually laid out in the palette instead of just the singles, and I like this color story a lot in theory, even though it's not for me. It's like a brighter take on typical Halloween spooky colors. You got those oranges, those greens, those purpley pinks. I like the 9-pan layout to where it is multiple colors. It's not just a monochromatic palette, but you could definitely do some different monochromatic looks from this palette. You could do an all green look, you could do an all orange look, you could do a purpley pinky look, or you can mix and match. It's very pretty, very cute. I'm sure I would adore the formula because Alien Cosmetics, like I already said in this video, one of my top 3 eyeshadow formulas. I love their formula. I think it's fantastic. This is just a little too bright for me, and I know I would not use it a ton. So that's why I'm not gonna buy it, but it's very nice. And if you like more bright, colorful eyeshadows, this may be for you. I bet the quality is gonna be A+. And then first place, and you may be mad at me for giving it to them, but just based on the makeup, first place is the Kylie Cosmetics X Nightmare on Elm Street collection. I love Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm actually wearing my Nightmare on Elm Street earrings. I just got these recently from Shop Purple Banana. Love them. It feels like every Halloween, I just really get into a specific spooky franchise. Last year, I was really, really into Hocus Pocus. I love Hocus Pocus as always, but last year, I was just really feeling Hocus Pocus. And this year, it's been Nightmare on Elm Street for me. I'm actually going as Freddy Krueger for Halloween, which is funny because I don't really like the first movie. I think the first movie is not good, but I love the second movie. The fact that this came out just as I was feeling Freddy Krueger, my stepdad really, really loved Freddy Krueger. This is just cool. And genuinely, they did it really well. This is not like the ColourPop Hocus Pocus Round 2, where they had a cool collab and just dropped the ball. This is a fantastic makeup collection with the theme. It's spooky enough with the color story, but it's still usable with the neutrals and the reds, which are 2 of my favorite colors, color families in makeup. I love neutrals and I love reds, as you can probably tell today. I am feeling this makeup today, but I love red eyeshadow and neutral lips, or red lips and neutral shadow. I'm actually wearing like a red blush today. Like, this is such a great collection. 10 out of 10, no notes. It's small and concise, but it's more than just an eyeshadow palette. I cannot pretend that I don't want this, especially the palette. It's very pretty, it's very spooky, it's very fun, and it definitely earns first place. For me, I think it is by far the best Halloween release of the season. So with that, please let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think the best Halloween release of the year is? Did I miss any that you totally love? I'm so sorry if I did. Please let me know what they are. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. J'aime le rouge et le beige en maquillage. I think that's how I would say I love red and beige in makeup. I'm learning French. I'm in French class right now, and I actually just filmed a presentation in French for my French class, and je ne suis pas intelligente.